Alright, this is a companion video to the previous video I did on Falling for a Dying Princess. If you want a short synopsis, you can go look at the other video. If you don't care to do that, my thoughts are, it's a good premise, bad execution, not a great story. Now let's get into it. Main character is her. She's dying of a curse or an affliction, whatever you want to put it, and I'm just going to use queen and princess and all that because she is a princess for terminology. Alright, the way this story starts is she's pregnant, she's about to die, next attack is pretty much it. Her knight, him, he's not back. You could tell immediately he's the baby daddy. It's just pretty fucking obvious what's happening in this story. Like, if you can't pick it up, I don't understand. It's a story that I pretty much clocked everything immediately, which is another thing that I did not enjoy because there was no mystery. And it never really gets any more mysterious as the story goes on. It's just kind of boring. So, she sees this devil with each attack that she has. Who do you think the fucking devil is? I'll give you one word. It's so fucking obvious. Some people don't get it. That's one reason I said in the last video that I will tell people if they don't get it. And like, it's fucking crystal clear. If you cannot pick it up, I don't understand it. It's just... the story might as well take a fucking sledgehammer and hit you over the head with, you know, an imprint of he is the devil. It's like, he's the one who's going to save her in the end. And it's like, okay. I can't figure that out. That's one reason I said that. But let me get into one part of the story another part of the story that I don't like. Because before I get into it, I think if they just didn't show their hand with what was going to happen down the line, this story would be actually great. Because if they just started from when she was a kid and you saw how talented she was and you never saw her pregnant as an adult waiting on her knight to come home, it's like, yeah, you would be able to really immerse yourself into the story. You know, this is if you're pedantic like me. So, I really don't like the Queen Mother, because she's the ruler of the nation, and the main character, like, uber talented. She's an uber talented character. It's like, the Queen was like, hell yeah, I got my heir, she's great, she can lead people, she, got the tactics down, she, everything I wanted. She's even physically gifted, and she's smart. But she's dying, so let's just pull her from her studies so that way, she doesn't have to worry about it, because she isn't going to use it anyway. Which signaled to everyone that she was abandoned and, of course, made things worse. And then the Queen's own interactions with her made things worse. She never voiced her opinions on why she pulled her from the studies. To the point to where the main character, her first interaction when she fucking leaves was pretty much going in there going like, I know you fucking don't care, but bitch, I need to go try to save my life considering you aren't going to do anything to help me. And you've done nothing to help me since you found this out. And, like, the Queen's thought process was like, well, I was trying to help you, because you're going to die anyway. But it just pisses you off as you're reading it, because you've already seen through the fucking story. You know she isn't going to die. You know it isn't like there's going to be some fucking magical resurrection. So you know it wasn't... It just pisses me off when I was reading it. Because there's no comeuppance for her. Hello, phone. That was something that annoyed the hell out of me whenever it was spoiled to me. Because there was a guy who's, read the novel, his first language was not English, and then I confirmed by going to some, novel websites in order to see what the consensus was. And yeah, what he said was true. The royal family just kind of disappears from the story, after a point, and they don't really get comeuppance. He quite literally told me, was like, yeah, I just kind of forgot they existed after a certain point in the novel. And for me, that just pisses me off, because you have a story where you set up, a good portion of her roadblocks come from the fact that her mother made things so much fucking harder than it needed to be. Because if she kept her, at least training and at least studying and interacted with her life would have been so much easier and she would have been able to do so much more. But because of those inactions, because of those, honestly, restrictions on her at that point, she was kind of fucked and she had to do a lot of things on her own, and she managed to swing it. She did a lot on her own. You know, she had some help, like from him, but when you think about it, she couldn't really use "I'm a princess" and "Look, my mother loves me" as a way to fucking get any ground or any leverage. She just had to do it on her own, and she did pretty fucking well. It's a story that annoys the hell out of me. It makes me cuss because I genuinely get pissed off when I'm fucking reading this story. And I'm reading through it again because I want to see if the fucking adaptation changes anything. I'm staring at my tablet right now because the way the novel was described to me by, my friend from another land, and also the people on novel websites talking about it, is not a story that I would enjoy. I love the premise. I love the premise of there is a ticking clock on the character, and it's not that bullshit, Mawa thing or cultivation style thing where it's I have to keep killing in order to be able to live longer. No, it's she has a clock. It's like if, in this year she has 2 attacks, well then guess what? You only have 3 more. It's like, well, to be more accurate, since she already had 2 attacks in the royal family, she would only have fucking 2 more, 1 more. So it's yeah, it's I hate this story. It does not bring me joy. I hate it because of the wasted potential of the story. All they needed to do was just shuffle the decks around a little bit more, and it would have been a little bit more enjoyable. Even though you would have probably seen through the devil as the romantic interest who saves her life, you would have been fucking at least a little enthralled with some of the other shit. But when you know how it's all going to work out, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. God. Enjoy my TED Talk, as I always say. Because, God, I love to rant and ramble.